Right, Ronnie Morrell. Is it Morrell?
Yeah.
A.K.A. Andy Glenn, you released a book last year with Warcry Publishing. Richie Horsley wrote it. What was the book called again?
Angel with Dirty Hands.
Right. Can I ask why the pseudonym name and not your real name at the first?
To be honest with you, mate, it was because I work for the NHS. I'm the manager of a drug service down south. And all it was with me, I thought there's a few sticklers within the NHS.
Yeah.
And I just thought, would they judge me? And, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they only know me, that's their work for them now. They don't know any of my life or how I got there.
Yeah.
But then when I've been home this weekend, I've been talking to Rich. I come home the other day to see my mum for a few days, and I was talking to him, and I said we should have put it in my name. I mean, he's changing it into my name. He's putting it in my name, and that's the reason why.
Right.
So people would judge me, but to be honest with you, it's nothing to be ashamed about.
No, absolutely not.
Like I said to you, I'm no one really, mate. I'm just me, and it's just been my journey, and that's the truth.
Yeah. So the book is called Angels with Dirty Hands. It was by Andy Glenn, but really it was by Ronnie Morrell. Morrell, is it?
Yeah.
So people can buy that from Amazon. So I mean, I've got a book actually downstairs. I haven't actually fully read it yet, but I have read bits, and it's quite a strong story, if I'm quite honest with you, mate. It's I don't think there was much you never really took.
I did. I'll be honest with you, mate. I'm 56 coming up in June now, and when I look back at it all, I mean, I've been playing for nearly 10 years now.
Yeah. So take me back from the start, Ronnie. Then, so where did you grow up?
Hartlepool.
What area?
I grew up up street. I was born in around the Jesmond Road, that part of town, up street. I lived there till about 6, 7, and then we moved to Park Road side of town, Lansdowne Road, down in the town centre. Right.
So what was your childhood like then?
It was a good childhood, mate, really. I had a little mum and dad, and the way I was, though, mate, I think I was shady from day one. All of my mates, we were always up to no good, but that was just all my life, you know.
Yeah.
And it was a good childhood, mate, really. I had a few things like most kids do now, my grown-up stuff. Hartlepool's a violent town, hasn't it?
I was just going to say that. Obviously, I've just finished Mick Sorby's book, which is out today, Hartlepool Born and Bred. And I said a few times to Richie Horsey, who will kind of help me with the book, I said, Richie, was Hartlepool really as bad as that? Because Mick seemed to be fighting like 4 times a night. It was just a bit... I almost was a bit worried, thinking there's people who are going to read this book and think he's full of shit, but it was just... Hartlepool was a war zone.
Around the country, Jamie, I was shop fitter and builder. I went all around the country from a young age, 16, 17.
Yeah.
And I've never come across a town like Hartlepool.
Why is Hartlepool so rough?
I don't know, mate. It's, like I said, growing up, it wasn't until I started living in different places that I realised the culture in Hartlepool, it just tend to come down violence, like, I'll be honest with you.
I mean, when I grew up, like, in the North East boxing scene, I noticed, like, Hartlepool, the kids, they were always kind of, like, I don't mean this in a bad way, but, like, tougher and scruffier than the other areas. It was just, like, they were really, do you know, like, the Hartlepool Catholic, the Welfare, the Headlands, the Manor, I think it was, just fuller, and it's a tough breed, aren't you, I think?
There's some... I'll be honest with you, mate, I was just a normal lad, but I think my first ever shock to me, when I look back at my life now, I'm in Narcotics Anonymous in the 12-step program. I've done the 12 steps, and I've had a good look at myself, and there was a lot of fear in me as a kid. I think I picked up glue from a young age, and then I just progressed.
So you've been sorry.
Now I think it was because of fear.
Yeah. So you've been clean 10 years now, right? But take me back, right? What kind of substances and narcotics were you using?
Well, we started off sniffing glue, as you do, with a few of my mates, and then I just moved on to cannabis, and it was mainly, for me, it was base amphetamines, and as I got into my early 20s, it was like acid, coke, ease, the rave scene kicked off. I was living down London, drink, come hand in glove with everything, mate, drink and drugs from a young age. And it just progressed to the point where it was a real problem for me, mate. I'll be honest with you. I got sectioned off and up in the hospital after I clipped this bloke, and I pulled the doctor come with the police to section me off, and I went from bad to worse, so to speak, for a few more. Yeah, but I would put one thing down, Jamie, and pick another thing up. I never had life without a substance, if that makes sense.
Yeah. What was your like addictions? So what were the actual things you were addicted to, though, or was it just a full lot?
It was mainly me choice of drugs was always coke, stimulants, amphetamines. I used to love the acid, even though my head was scrambled. I'd take boatloads of that when I was younger. Alcohol was a massive part of my life, and I'd say towards the last 10 years of my using it was more cocaine and alcohol. I mean, when he went on cocaine and alcohol until I couldn't work anymore, and then it was I had bad elbows through plaster, and I needed plastic elbows.
Wow.
At the about 40-year-old, I'd wore them out, that repetitive strain stuff.
Yeah.
And I was on prescription painkillers from the doctor, so I was bumping them into me left, right, and centre.
What kind of prescription drugs?
There was that opiate painkillers, but I mean, it isn't until I got into the rooms that's why I was living in an hostel down south. And once I'd been part of the hostel, it was a dry house, no drugs, no drink, and you had to go to a meeting as part of your tenancy. And I went, and I would just go in and sit and listen to people, and it soon dawned on me that I'd been fixing myself with substances most of my life. But the only time I didn't, if I put drugs down, I picked drink up. I'd put the drink down, pick the drugs back up, or then pick them both up. But towards the end, it was a nightmare, man. Can
I ask you, Ronnie? Did you get any addictions to the painkillers?
Yeah, I was ghost on them, man. I was taking them for about 4, 5, 6 years.
Really? Like cocaine or codeine and that?
Yeah, I was on prescription ones, and I was getting them off the doctor willy-nilly. And back then, they weren't too full on about. They weren't as savvy as they are today about the addictive qualities of prescription drugs, you know what I mean? And I'll be honest with you, it was a nightmare, but I got myself off them. I weaned myself off them. I used different drugs to come off the different strengths, and I did it that way, and I got off them in the end, and I don't touch any of them now like that. For someone like me, I'd like them so much.
Yeah. So I mean, I've got a friend, Paul Venice. He's similar. He'd get addicted to Blue Smarties, and I've to be fair, I'm the same as well. And so when you give up the drink, and what did you do? Because everyone has to have a vice, whether it's go dogging or dress in women's clothes. Someone has to have a vice in life. How did you replace it with?
I started on the spirit with Richie. It was, mate. I started meditating. I done my Reiki, and over time, it took a few years. I managed to get there in the end, and I threw myself into my 12-step. My meditation. I was volunteering, then I got a job, and I'm working in that field all the time. I'm working with heroin addicts, I'm working with people with addictions, and for the first good few years that just kept me feet on the ground. So I didn't want to go back where I come from.
So, and a lot of these people now, these young kids, I mean, you're in your 50s now, do you look at them and think, Jesus, that was me 30 years ago?
Oh, it's a different ball game today with the kids. I think the drugs were a lot stronger back in my day. They're a lot cheaper now, and it's easy to come by, but I see the skunk and the kids are on. I mean, there's loads of them in the mental health system. And I understand, that you can fuck about with too much drugs. There's only so much your mind will take. I was a prime example of that. I mean, I was 24. I would be pissing at it. This sounds mad, but I'd piss the bed every night, every time I had to drink drugs.
Jesus.
I'd wake up, I'd be flipping the mattress and thinking that, living in a room and thinking that was a normal way to live, Jimmy.
Yeah. And
it just wasn't. But I couldn't. I would go a week, and then I never seemed to do life on life's term, if that makes sense. And it wasn't until I really had started getting into meditation and then finally hitting them rooms and listening to people who were similar to me.
Because, I mean, obviously, a lot of people with addictions, have you seen all the lies before and all the bullshit you just see right through and think, I used to do that myself?
Yeah. You know, what it is for me, man, the substances, they're just a small part of the person. This is what I learned about me. I never realised at the time when I picked up drugs as a youngster, it made me feel alright. That's why everyone does them, they feel good, but I did them every day and I just continued because I enjoyed being there. And the bottom line was I didn't like feeling who I was, but I never knew that at the time. You know, so when I would work with people and when we key work, and then when I used to, I'm a manager now, but when I used to key work them, I just sit and talk about them. I know what the problems are. The drugs are the problem. Yes, we know that, but let's look at why. Some people don't know why, but if you work with them long enough, you talk to them, like, you find your way, and everyone's, you know, it's just a mask. At the end, that was it for me. I was tired, man.
Yeah.
I was in an hostel. I had a bin bag of clothes at 46-year-old.
Yeah.
In my head, I still thought I was going to bounce back. And nah.
So, I mean, obviously you've been clean now, but is there ever a time when you look at a pint or a joint or something, and you think...
Sometimes, you know, when I'm on holiday.
Yeah.
But I love, you say about me addiction, it's coffee now, man. I love cappuccinos.
So really, you've you know, because I noticed, like, I've got a friend who used to be an addict, and, like, he starts with the Red Bulls now.
I don't touch out like that. But caffeine, I do love a cappuccino, especially when I'm on holiday. But every now and again, I look and I'll see people drinking. My partner's in recovery as well, and we'll see people drinking a glass of wine in the sun and that. And she always says, "Oh, wouldn't it be lovely just to sit there and have one of them?" And straight away in my head, but it wouldn't be one, because what's the fucking point of
Yeah. How long she been? How long she been in recovery for, Ronnie?
She's a bit longer than me. She's coming up 12 years.
And do you think now, like, you could never just have one? You'd have to literally rip the roof down, wouldn't you?
I know I can't have one, man. I never could, and that was always a problem.
Yeah.
Well, in Hartlepool, you know, it's an heavy drinking town, and I think you brought up to do the town. It's like binging. It's like binge drink culture, anyway.
Absolutely, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, you know, I mean, Mick Sorby's told me some stories, and I grew up like 12 mile away in Middlesbrough for most of my life, and
this was the same, mate. You know the score there, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, it seemed as cool, and, like, you know, just some
throw as much as you can.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to an age now in my 40s where I think I used to be hungover 3 days a week, where now I drink every 3 weeks, and I get hangover, and then I think, why did I do it? You know, and it's
one just thinking about it, man.
Yeah, you know, and I think you just said something there, Ronnie. You said something like, I got tired of it, and I don't think anyone's really going to change until. And you had to, because you tried, weeks, days.
I lost everything twice over, man.
Yeah, but you had to. You were literally mentally, physically tired, where you thought, I've had enough of this shit now, weren't you?
Yeah, I couldn't lie anymore. I had no more excuses. You know, I was in a hostel, and I had a face for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and
so you were a bit of a chameleon.
Tired.
You were a bit of a chameleon.
I was putting out to everyone. I was volunteering the drug service. I was still at it twice a week. As long as I got at it twice a week, I could survive the 4 days. But even that was coming on top for me. And I had a sense of fear all the time, and I just had enough of it. And I got honest in the meeting. I got honest with this fella who I chose to be my sponsor. Yeah. And then I went on that 12-step journey, man. It was the best thing I ever done.
And what's life like for you now then? What's your quality like? Is it better than ever? Is it boring? Is it?
You know, it's not boring. You know what, man? I've got my garden. Mad. I love my garden. I plant my veggies. I work in the drugs field. I'm a manager. I work on the open access, the front end of treatment, where people come in straight off the street. We engage them. I've got a partner. My son's just moved out. He's 19. He's my youngest of all 4. I've had him since he was 8 when his mum died. So I was a single dad for a while with him. Yeah. And I live with my partner. It's just me and her now. I wouldn't swap this life, man. You know, I meditate. I get fulfillment out of doing that thing, and I'm constantly, I'm not working on myself like beating myself up with a stick, but I've got to know myself that well through doing them steps, and I go to my meetings still now. I still go twice a week. I still do chairs. I got asked to do one the other night. My first sponsor always said to me, you can never say no, and I never do. And I just, to tell them basically what I'm talking to you like that, and that, just the truth of it, and all of them things give me joy. I've come up here with my mum because my dad died. It's going up 2 years now. She's on her own because lockdown, I haven't seen her for a while. I thought, fuck it, I had a few days annual leave. So I've just come up and been able to do them things, being present, man. I wouldn't give that away for the world. And
I think in the past where you'd have been hungover, you wouldn't have turned up, all that crap.
Man, I wouldn't have turned up. I used to get, when we had functions, like family things, I would get shit faced before I went. But that was just me. It got towards the end, I had to get shit faced just to go out my own front door. You know, it's an horrible place to be, man.
I'm just, Ronnie, I'm looking at the front cover of your book. So the book is Angel with Dirty Hands by Andy Glenn, a.k.a. Ronnie Morrell, is it? And it's such...
I think Richie's changing the name.
So we're going to do that now. We're going to put the correct name. I'm just having a look now. So the front cover is like there's beer on it, there's acid tabs, there's prison.
Taking all that off as well.
Big Ben. So I take it. Let me just read this. So Andy Glenn has had his fair share of battles, even life itself of a battle. Armed robber, gambler, alcoholic, drug addict, mental hospital, GBH, prison sentences, personal tragedies, Westminster. This is an incredible story. So the book, right? So people can buy that for Kindle for £1.99. From Amazon, and the paperback, give me a minute, so just the paperback is, can you tell me what it is, mate? I think I've just lost it, the thing.
I don't know, I think it was $9.99.
Yeah, that sounds sense, because I actually went and picked them up.
I think I've got a picture. Richie sent me a picture.
That's right. Do you know, I'm gonna go downstairs and have a good read of it this evening. You know, so people, can they learn something from reading this then, Ronnie?
I think so, mate. You know, like I said to you, I'm just me, and Richie seems to think it's sorry. And when I look back at this, I mean, a lot of it was self-inflicted. It took me a long time to look within, and my actions, my behaviours, a lot of my stuff was self-inflicted anyway. But that's common good. Having the solution within the rooms, finding that there is a solution. I couldn't live the life the way I was living it. I just couldn't live that life no more, but I didn't know what else to do.
So it took you, so do you think it probably took you to the age of about 45 to really wake up?
I was starting to wake up from about 43, but it took me right up until I was about 46 before the penny fully dropped.
So really, you were living like this from what, mid-teens, early teens, or what? Yeah,
16 onwards, mate. We started sniffing glow, and like I said, I put one down, pick another up. But the last 10 years of me use, I mean, alcohol was a daily thing anyway. Alcohol, but the cocaine as well, and that was a lot, and that just scrambles your head anyway, man. But it takes things away from you. You don't even know you got until they're gone.
Well, I mean, it's funny. I've just seen Eric Clapton written a song there called, I think it was Cocaine, and Elton John, when he got off it, he actually written a letter to it like it was an ex-partner to say, look, we've had a good time, goodbye. Can you relate to that?
No, not towards the end, mate. It was more of a nightmare because I was bumping the painkillers in with me as well, and it wasn't good. And I was sat with a mess of everything. 4 children, 2 marriages failed in a hostel. I need hostel with a bin bag of clothes, mate. I just, you know, I had to change. And I wanted to. I was sick of living by chance, you know. Now I can go to sleep on a night and I can wake up the next day. No, I haven't done anyone a wrong turn. I haven't been off my head and caused trouble. I can wake up, I go to work, I help where I can. I'll do my bit of meditating, I'll go in my garden. Honestly, I've got my missus. I couldn't ask for more.
Yeah, because how important is meditation? Because I started doing it a couple of months ago for anxiety. And
that's just mad.
Yeah. How often do you do it?
Every day. I do it every day. but my daughter died 3 years ago. She killed herself and that destroyed me. And I thought I didn't lose faith, but I couldn't. When I sat and meditated, in my head I was really angry. I mean, I was off work for 8 months. It changed me permanently. But I'm back into it now, but nowhere where I was. I used to do it every day for about 40 minutes every night.
Right.
But it's about 3-4 times a week now. But massively important, Jamie. For me, it helps me to monitor myself if something bad happened through the day, rather than fester on it. I can make sense of it. I can let it go. If I have to write it up, I will write it up. All them things make perfect sense. It works for me.
Yeah, but I started doing it a couple of months back, and Russell Brand said, because he gets a lot of trolls and all that, he said he started doing it and that's what helped him. And I mean, to be honest, Ronnie, I think obviously you went through something as unbearable as, losing a child. I think if you were ever going to go back to your old life and use again, it would have been then, surely.
Yeah, it would have been, man. You know what I did? I went to more meetings because it was before lockdown COVID, obviously.
Yeah.
I cried. I just went to meetings. I cried. I talked about it, and I got through that way. Just one day, I kept it in the day. But drugs and drink, they weren't even on the equation, mate.
That's incredible.
I had my son to think about, and why would I do something like that after everything?
How old's your son?
My son's 19 now.
Right. Okay, that's incredible, mate.
And I got him when he was 8. When his mum died, I just left the hospital. I had a 1-bedroom flat. His mum was dying of cancer, and I got him. He come with me. The 2 oldest ones, one lived on his own, the other one went with her aunt, and there was me and the little man, and I couldn't do it to him, to cop out. In that way.
So you've obviously come a long way then, haven't you? Because you've got compassion now, and I think you realise what's right, and
Yeah. I think I always was a sensitive soul anyway, mate, but yeah.
Well, listen, it's been fabulous talking to you, Ronnie. What I'm going to do on this video, because people are going to be listening to this on YouTube now, I'm going to put the links into Ronnie's book. It's Angels with Dirty Hands. It was by Andy Glenn, but now we're going to be replacing it with Ronnie. How do you pronounce it? Morrell. And it's by us at Warcry Publishing. So absolute pleasure speaking to you. And have you got any plans on doing any more books?
I don't know. My early childhood was a laugh as well, to be honest with you. We had some right carry on.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Richie Horsley wrote it, didn't he?
Yeah. I used to just we'd meet up and I'd tell them stuff, and then I was using this voice phone message thing and then emailing them to them, and we put it together that way. And I mean, I said to you in the beginning, Jamie, it's just me, and I have had a bit of a journey. I've been in some funny. All of them were self-inflicted,
Yeah.
The good thing is with what I do now, I feel like them first 30 years weren't wasted so much.
Because you've got a message to pass on to the youth.
Yeah. There's light there. That's whenever I work with anyone, I sit with them in the room, and I know that if you want it, it's there.
Yeah.
You just got to put the leg one foot in front of the other and do what's suggested. And that's what I did, and I've got my life. Yeah,
credit you, mate. You're an absolute inspiration. You're inspiring me, mate. Listen to that. Listen, I have my own issues and all that kind of crap. So if I wish I could be as, I'd like to get as headstrong as you. But listen, mate, I'll